It has been too long. The Vegas Golden Knights win against the St. Louis Blues 3-2. 4-2? We got the empty netter 4-2. And there's a lot that I need to talk about in this game, unfortunately. Part of it is about the game, and part of it's not. Because William Karlsson is out week to week. He took a maintenance day on Tuesday and is now week to week, which that doesn't seem to line up with what was advertised, right? But yeah, so that's interesting. And Elliot Friedman reported that he could miss the Four Nations face-off, which is really unfortunate for Team Sweden, but also in general, just like it gives insight to what his injury, right? And the Simbin talked about this on Twitter, where he last season in the playoffs had a hamstring problem and was not taking face-offs. And this year he's had something basically since training camp. He injured something in training camp, missed the first whatever amount of games, 9 games of the season, and then has been in the lineup since. But his production's not been good, but he's been at the face-off dot taking face-offs. So no idea. I have no idea. We don't know, right? But he's going to be out for a while, which leads me to think we have a ton of centers. We have Eichel playing wing a lot of the time because of our center depth. And so if we have Eichel, Hertl, Waugh, Howden play center, there's a lot of centers in there. And yet, I keep thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we got Yanni Gourde, because he would be relatively cheap to acquire, and then retained him twice. Anyway, we're not talking about the trade deadline yet for Vegas, but that would be someone that I would be interested in acquiring because I have a Gourde jersey, so that would just fit, you know? So yeah, we had, and Schwint is out week to week as well, I think, and so that's really unfortunate for our lineup. But Brisson got in, and Lazinski came back, and so our fourth line was Lazinski, Holtz, and Brisson, which Brisson is not going to excel there. And to be honest, I knew Brisson was playing in this game. I forgot until the last shift of the game when, after we scored the empty netter. Spoiler alert. The game starts, 19 seconds in, Mark Stone scores. What? It was so quick. He just skates up to Cam Fowler and says, "Hey, that puck, it's mine now," takes it and snipes it past Hofer to make it a 1-0 game. Like I said, 19 seconds into this. It was incredible. This is what Stone does. He is one of the best 200 feet defensive takeaway, just two-way forwards in the league, and should get more Selke consideration than he does, but I digress. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little pessimistic after this goal because my thought process over the last, 7 games that Vegas has played, 8 games, I don't remember, was, oh, so how are they gonna let me down this time? Which is ridiculous because we're still third in the league, right? But yeah, I was like, oh, so either that's going to be our only goal or we came to play, and thankfully it was the latter. Vegas goes on the power play, and St. Louis kills it off, which, okay, yeah, you can go ahead and kill off that penalty, but right after the penalty is killed off, Olofsson keeps in the puck, sends it around the boards, it makes its way over to Barbashev, who's against the other side of the boards, and is pinned up against it, but backhand feeds us into the middle of the ice where Olofsson is waiting, and he winds up, slaps it. It's a perfect shot to go past Hofer to make it 2-0 Vegas halfway through the first period. And yeah, up to this point, Vegas has just been so good, and they continue to be so good throughout the rest of this game. But after, 3 shots on goal from St. Louis on their 4th one, Jordan Kyrou, who seems to score against us quite a bit, he scores and makes it 2-1. And despite the fact that Vegas has outplayed St. Louis for a majority of this game, we find ourselves in a 1-goal game heading into the second period. I guess I should talk about that goal because it actually didn't happen at the end of the period. It happened halfway through, right after, a minute or 2 after the Olofsson goal, because yeah, no, it's a really good play from Dylan Holloway because he gets the puck, they're in transition, Oh my goodness, Vegas, would you please stop letting the other team score in transition? But Holloway grabs the puck, he skates, and he like looks like he's either gonna pass it and like fakes passing it but drops it for Jordan Kyrou, who's behind him, and Kyrou grabs it, skates in, and just rings it off the far post and in. Beautiful goal from Kyrou. He's a phenomenal player. But like I said, we go into the first intermission with a 2-1 lead. Vegas out shooting St. Louis, I think it was 13-4. Double checking. 14-4. In the second period, Vegas goes to a power play and immediately win the draw, get it over to Theodore, Eichel to Stone, back to Eichel, who skates up, drawing St. Louis a little bit towards that way, back over to Stone, and then Stone somehow sneaks he's at his position, you know, behind the what in the world? Behind the net, and then he skates forward a little bit and then passes it through Ryan Suter to Pavel Dorofeev on the other end of the ice, who's all alone, and he blasts this so hard, so cleanly into the top and back of the net, and to make it a 3-1 Vegas lead. And that's the only goal in the second, because there's quite a bit of shenaniganery that happens throughout the rest of the period. But the refs in this game, for both teams, awful. I'm pretty sure the reffing crew that I normally work with in the Federal Prospects Hockey League, the FPHL, they would have done a better job reffing this NHL game because it was terrible. There was a call on Shea Theodore for hooking where it was stick on stick, which is not a hook, right? That's just a clear, good stick lift from Theodore. He got called for that, whatever. Like, missed calls are going to happen. But Eichel got knocked down, tripped like twice. And there was an interference call on Kolazar right off of a face-off, which Kolazar probably was a little bit too, you know, hard on, can't remember who the Blues player was. It could have been Parayko or Holloway, I don't know. But that happens so much in a game, and it's a very subjective call to make if it's just based on like, well, he did it for a little bit longer there, so. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm complaining about the refs in a win. And it's not because I think Vegas was cheated. I think both teams were robbed of opportunities, although Vegas's power play definitely, you know, is what it has been this season. So, you know, but it's just extremely unfortunate. And there was a call, there was an on-call at the end when Vegas, so St. Louis pulls Hofer with 6 minutes left in the game. Vegas still dominated this game. Like, St. Louis only had 8 shots through the second period. And at the end, Vegas was leading shots, I think 30-14. And so, yeah, of course, it is a smart decision to pull Hofer. 6 minutes left, but like, it's just, that was, for a 2-goal lead, that's a long time. But clearly, it worked. St. Louis, with the extra attacker, took like almost 3 minutes to score, but they finally got one past. It was just under the arm of Samsonov. Buchnevich slaps it. It goes off of Samsonov, pops right in front of Rob Thomas, you know, lead singer of Matchbox 20. And he grabs the puck and flings it in, underneath the arm of Samsonov to make it a 3-2 game. And there's still like 3 minutes left, and so it's just enough to make St. Louis fans believe, right, Mason? But Vegas clamps down, and they're able to limit the opportunities that St. Louis has even with the goalie pulled, which they waited a little bit longer to do after they got one. And so, I don't know, maybe you should have pulled them earlier, but like, is what it is. Vegas had a couple of chances on the empty netter, missed it, but at the very end, with like 35 seconds left, there's a just rocket of a pass that went through like 3 St. Louis players from St. Louis captain, Stanley Cup champion with the Blues, you know, Alex Pietrangelo, and he gets it up, it plops into Hurdle, and Hurdle then gets possession of it and skates across the blue line, drags the puck back across the blue line, fires it into the empty net, and it's a goal, right? So 4-2 Vegas, but Jim Montgomery challenges, I believe everyone was saying he challenged for offsides, which, you know, you might as well do at that point. And the rule on that, and with how the refs had officiated this game, who knows how they would have called it? But by the rule, because he had possession of the puck, Hurdle had the possession of the puck. It's a weird thing with the offsides, and the way that I interpret it is that because he had possession, he can drag it across the blue line and it's fine. as long as he maintained possession of the whole time, no other player was around, and yeah, that's my interpretation. But it was challenged for offsides, and it was a good goal. There was no delay of game penalty from the Blues, which means maybe he didn't challenge, despite the fact that everyone was saying that he challenged, and so it wasn't a power play for Vegas. I don't know. It was such a terribly officiated game. There was one call that I thought could have been cross-checks from Shen on, I think it was Eichel, where one, he could do whatever, and then he went to the ground, and then he went down again, and I don't think he like drove him into the ice at all, but like it was like, oh, guys, what are you doing? And then there was, I think, a cross-check from Hurdle at the end before he got the empty netter that Blues fans were up in arms about, which they called it similar the whole game. I don't know where cross-check penalties have gone. I thought they cracked down on it, but like, I think people are getting away with a lot right now when it comes to cross-checking. And so, who knows? But yeah, Vegas wins 4-2. And before this game, I even like was thinking Vegas is probably going to win this game, just like I thought Edmonton was going to demolish Vancouver after, you know, what happened between them last time. I was not expecting them to dominate play the way that they did today. The difference between these two teams tonight and the difference between them back on Monday is like Vegas is probably a little bit in between the team that came back and tied it and sent it to overtime and the team that just dominated play tonight. And I think the Blues, I don't know if they thought, oh, like we handled them last time, like let's, I don't know, like trap game, but despite the fact that I don't know. I don't know what happened in those locker rooms, but the teams that played tonight and the teams that played Monday are two completely different teams. Obviously Brisson and Lazinski, but they barely played. They got like 8.5 minutes of ice time. Thank you, Ryan the Hockey Guy. It's an automatic review under a minute left. That's why there was no penalty assessed to the Blues, even though the announcement was that St. Louis challenged. So automatic review, they shouldn't have announced that St. Louis challenged, and yeah, let's move on. But good game from Vegas. We play again tomorrow against the Dallas Stars. Oh boy, that's fun. So right back into the grind, you know, after a nice 3-day break, and it's in Dallas. Pavel Dorofeev continues to be lights out, and we gotta win. That's what matters. We gotta win, and that's it. I'm done. I don't really know what else to say about this game. That's gonna be it for Game 48. It's a nightly review. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.